Peace, 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 peace. So, this is a response to Gary Lawrence. I can't remember the last name, but Gary. I've known Gary in Facebook for quite a few years. I follow him. He's a great astrologer, in my opinion. We're not always on the same vibration there, but that's okay. That's how things are. But I'm glad that he got involved in the my face is all ashy. Sorry, y'all. And see, that's why I don't really do videos, because I think I need my hair cut. I think I need to be all primped and primed. That's my Leo on the 12th, Venus there. But I'm glad you did jump in. I also know that I believe Gary is a homosexual astrologer. And then correct me if I'm wrong, Gary. You know, let me know. And I'm glad he weighed in on the topic we've been discussing over the week about astrology and homosexuality, and you know, can you see someone is gay by looking at their chart? Are they homosexual aspects and combos? Either Aquarius or Scorpio or Gemini or Libra or Sagittarius, the sign of homosexuality. You know, we were talking about that in a group called Astrology, which is a group for black astrologers, because we feel we don't have a big enough voice or platform online. And so we've started to create our own groups. One of them is Astrology. Another one is the International Society of Black Astrologers. Another one is Society of Indigenous Astrologers. That's what my mother used to do. They didn't put some spell on that. Just, yeah, I'll take care of that. I just can't stand it right now. I don't got no wag nothing. Anyway, so and I want to try to do more videos, because everyone's into videos. So maybe this is a good medium platform. It's trying. So I'm jumping everywhere. Pardon me. But to answer Gary, particularly to Gary's question, he talked about, you know, the harsh aspects he's seen in certain people's charts, and how can you see if someone's gay. And I saw him having that conversation with another young lady in the group who thought that a certain aspect she sees a lot means people are gay. Well, let's just go first and dive into it. You can't look at nobody's chart and say, oh, that person is gay. No. But what you can do, you can, under a consultation, reveal and come to a correct conclusion that they are homosexual by reading their astrological, what I call their astrosexual behavior, or reading the sexual planets in their chart, in their natal chart, and speaking on in the consultation about their sexuality. I gave an example to Gary, and I'll just give it again here. I had a young lady who I was giving a consultation to, and you know, I was rectifying her chart, and you know, from the birth time she gave me, I didn't think that was the correct birth time, and I started rectifying the chart, and so forth and so forth. So I rectified the chart. And then I started to reread the chart to her, and I'm like, hey, you know, are you attracted to women? No, I said to her, are women really attracted to you? And she's like, yeah. I said, do you get hit on by women all the time? She was like, yeah, I really do. I was like, so do women make you excited? Do you get excited or aroused by females, especially those with nice breasts? This is what I said to the young lady. She says, wow. She says, yeah. I said, so you got a thing for breasts, huh? Because she had Mars and Cancer, all right? And they squared the sun in Libra, but they're trying the moon in Pisces. Okay, so I was like, well, you know, do you prefer women over men? She was like, yeah. I was like, yeah. She was like, you know, I've been in a relationship with men, but those relationships didn't last long, and often I felt dominated. And she was reading her own chart, actually. That was the Mars and Cancer square, the Sun in Libra, you know. But still, I said, but still, when you're dating women, you're still dating masculine women. You're dating very aggressive women. You're dating women who are very exciting or who are athletic, you know, things of that nature, correct? She was like, yeah. I said, but with nice breasts. And she was like, yeah, that's true. So I'm like, so you still can't escape that type of energy. You still get it even in the relationship with your women. I'm pretty often, you probably had some violent episodes in your relationship with women too. You know, that have, you know, either had made your family alerted and concerned, or their family alerted and concerned, or you may have, it could have been got physical. You've gone through a bunch of emotional attacks from your partners who have been these females you're dating as well. They often break your shit or your property or the things that you are attached to. Okay, and so what I was doing was reading aspects in her chart. You know, Mars Cancer 2, Mars Cancer square, Sun Libra, but also Pisces Moon, quincunx. You know, the Libra Sun. You dig? And trying, you know, the Mars and Cancer. I was reading all of that, and she was like, "Yeah, straight up, that happened." I said, "So you often attract very needy, or very needy, or emotional, or highly sensitive, and sometimes emotionally volatile individuals." And she was like, "Yes, I do. That's true." And I was like, you know, and being a lesbian has really being attracted to women and following that lifestyle has really caused some issues, you know, with some of your ex-partners who were probably men, you know, like, why are you gay, you know, whatever. She was like, yes. So through that consultation, through that conversation, I was able to determine that this woman is queer. She's gay. She prefers women over men. She likes masculine women, athletic build. You know what I'm saying? And I described the type of person she was attracted to, Mars, in her Cancer. You know what I'm saying? Because I understand astrology and sexuality. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, people are like, oh, well, Venus is what Venus would attract. Yeah, I get that. But I'm really talking about something a little different, because the energy of Mars is actually what arouses. It's like Kundalini is what arouses you. So I look at Mars from that perspective. What arouses you? What gets you excited? In that woman's chart, Mars is in Cancer. Other women get her excited. Titties get her excited. Well, breasts, you know, depending on what you want to call them. You know what I mean? But that gets her excited. And those, oh, I asked her this too. I said, do you like when people feel in your breasts or pay particular attention to that anatomy on your body during foreplay? And she says, oh yeah. I said, especially if it's a woman, right? A woman. She said, yeah, there's something about a woman, the way she touches my breast, that really excites me. This is Mars and Cancer again in our chart. So, you know, through the consultation, I was able to successfully determine that she was gay. Now, I do this all the time, by the way. It's not that was just one out of a whole bunch of consultations. But the great thing about what I'm saying, I've done it live on Blog Talk Radio. Yeah, I've done it live. I've done it live on Blog Talk Radio. You know, so I'm not just talking about it. I've shown it I've done it live. I've been on the radio, on the Cosmophysics on Blog Talk Radio. I've been there. What is that about? I've been there and talked to somebody. Oh, you know, you deal in alternative sexual lifestyle, or a sexual lifestyle that's not very popular amongst your family or traditional society. They say, yeah. That's me asking them, are you gay? That's how I translate that. And then, oh yeah, you know, boom, boom. Then I asked them, well, what's that alternative lifestyle? Because it could be a bunch of things. It could be bestiality. It doesn't have to be homosexuality. You know, these could be people who just have a weird fetish. A weird sexual fetish, you know. So I had to determine that in the consultation. So I asked these fact-finding questions to eliminate what it isn't and get to what it is. This is consultation. This is how you do astrology. Well, one way. One way out of many. So, you know, I just wanted to break the video, because like I said, I'm trying to break into doing the video thing and everything, and kind of like, you know, get that out there and address Gary's question, because, you know, he's a cool dude, and I wanted him to see where I was coming from. Not really coming from that perspective, oh, there are gay combination, astrological aspects. You know, I've done my research. I've read a lot of the queer astrology documentation and from the conventions and stuff like that, and a lot of the queer astrology online. And, you know, I see how a lot of people are against the fact that you can look at a chart and see if someone's gay. Yeah, because it's discriminating, you know. And they can use that, say, oh, if they can use that, they can also use that to do identity politics and discriminating and racism and all that other crap, right? I get that, but that does not exclude, that does not stop the fact remains that it can be done properly. Doesn't exclude it. No, you just can't look at it and say, oh, that person's gay. It's like I can't look at a person and say, oh, that's a racist. But I can read the Jupiter or the ninth Jupiter aspects in your chart, or your ninth house ruler, or the aspects between Jupiter and your ninth house ruler, and the malefics in your chart, and the benefics in your chart, and determine how you behave with people of a different culture, a different background, a different, or from a different country, a different, you know, society. And I did it live, again, on Blog Talk Radio. Now, not only did I did it live, I wrote extensively about it in a blog called Unveiling Racism by Cosmophysics. I think it's part 1, and part 2 is Race Astrology, which is more my personal conjecture on astrology and race than anything. But the first one, I gave examples doing the Ku Klux Klan chart. I even have demonstrated that on live radio. I even have right now a live thread that's going on in Afro Astrology. No, was it Afro Astrology? Is either that or the Real Talk Astrology? I think it's one of the two. That's Rabina Rastaban's group. Big up to Rabina. What's going on, baby? Cosmic Council house. So but that one of those groups, I posted that and I asked people, I said, yo, where is your Jupiter? Where is your ninth house ruler? What is its relationship to the other planets in the planet? Well, does this describe your behavior and how you perceive and deal with people of a different ethnicity, a different race, a different creed, a different color, a different gender, blah, 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 to different cultures, da, da, da. I asked that because Sagittarius represents foreigners and foreign cultures. Okay? I asked them. And this is a wonderful post because people didn't get mad. You can't do that. You can't say that, that's racist. Blah, 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 blah. No, they came in and said, hey, I have it here and here and here. And I know this is how I deal with foreigners. Or I deal with people of this particular religion. And la, 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 la. And they went in. See, that's the difference when I'm telling you this happens. But then when people come out and start reading their own chart. Because can't nobody read your chart better than you. Nobody. You are the master of thyself. No one knows you better than you. So these people are coming up the woodwork and they're dropping, yo, this is how I feel about it. And they're just proving my experimentation right. They're showing me that the work that I'm doing is going somewhere. It's built on solid astrological foundation. Actually, it really is. You know, and I don't see many astrologers doing live experiments with astrology. Live experiments with astrology. I don't see them doing that really. Because they fear failure. But you must fail to succeed. I don't care. That's like when I'm reading people. I don't care if you tell me no. I'm gonna find that sweet spot. Yeah. I'm gonna find it in that chart. And when I find it, that's all she wrote. That's all she wrote. So, you know, I just wanted to kind of like bring that to y'all, address Gary's question. I'm not really talking about that, Gary. I see where you're coming from, and I agree with you. You can't look at someone's chart and tell if they're gay, but through consultation, you can determine their sexual orientation and their sexual nature. You can successfully do that. This is why astrology is also a relationship science or craft, because you do require the feedback from your client or the querent you know, for validity and, you know, and for validity and accuracy. Okay? So if I ask the client, yeah, you like women, and she's a woman and she says yes, okay. And I go in and describe her relationship with women, what she's attracted to, mentally, sexually, whatever, then I have successfully determined her sexual orientation. Because she told me so. That's why. That's how I know. That's how you do it. I've had people, I had one homeboy, He got, oh, this boy right here, man. He got homie got Jupiter and Venus. I think he had Jupiter and Venus and Jupiter, Venus, and Aquarius, and he's a poly everything. And I said to him, I said, man, Jupiter and Venus conjunct in Aquarius. I said, and it trines Pluto in Libra. Yeah, that's what it was, Pluto and Libra, I think. I was like, yo, you date men and women, you don't care. It's all about companionship for you. It's all about not only about companionship, but being different. And your sexual appetite's a little bit different, you know, a little bit than the average traditional heterosexual ways and stuff like that. He was like, yeah, man, I'm a polyamorous. I forgot what they call themselves. We said, I have sex with anybody, anything. You know? And I was like, yeah, with Jupiter, Venus, and Aquarius, bet you will. But we talked about that. I determined it. Right? They said, are you a poly something? Yeah. I date men and women. I do it all. You know, I date a tree. Okay? So, it's not about what you can look at the chart and determine. It's about what you look at the chart and determine and get concurrence with, an agreement with, from the person you're reading. That's astrology. Why has most astrologers forgotten? It's not just you. It's the person you're reading, or it's the thing you're reading too. It resonates. It has energy, which brings me to my next portion of this. Now, another thing I want to address is just some of the critics about energy. About, oh, you just can't put energy doesn't work like that. You just can't put it in a box, and oh, no one thing can be one sign, and get out of here with that. That's nonsense. Look, there's a premier sign for most archetypes and things and ideas and motifs. For example, Aries is a premier archetype for men and masculinity, although the other fire signs are masculine too, and the cardinal signs, some of the cardinal signs are masculine, the cardinal signs are masculine too. You know what I'm saying? But the premier sign of men is Aries, and Mars is often associated with men and masculinity. The premier sign for women or planet associated or corresponding or co-carrying with the idea of femininity in women is Cancer and the Moon. Stop playing. But don't get me wrong, there are other feminine signs. And there are other signs that deal with women and their biology and their association in life. The other water signs do. But Cancer is the premier one. Okay, so you have a sign of you have children. That's Leo, right? It could be other things, Gemini, which nominally in astrology we agree that's Leo, right? That's children, right? That's one sign describing children. And guess what? It does too. Because here's where a lot of people get tunnel vision. That's just one sign. No, it isn't. No sign is by itself. Okay? Let me teach you something. Children. Leo. Let's look at it from the Leo in the first. Let's look at it from the cosmopath. Let's open the lotus on the cosmopath of Leo in the first as it corresponds to children. Okay? So, children of youthful, playful, love to be entertained. They're so adorable and loving and lovable. That is, again, Leo in the first house. Let's go to women. Women have Leo. Women are connected to Cancer, but that's not the only sign that supports Cancer being equated. The reason why women is equated, in my perspective, from opening the lotus, from examining the zodiacal anatomy of the motif and theme through its most associated or premier associated sign. By doing that, I open the lotus and say, hey, women have Leo in the second place. And they are lions when it comes to providing for their children. Nominally, they are. They are. And now, this doesn't speak for every single woman, and we know the individual natal chart really expresses the individuality, but I'm talking about generalities. I'm talking about archetypes. I'm talking about motifs. I'm talking about the collective here. You know, anywhere in the world, women go through, well, women are like a lion when it comes to feeding her children, providing for her children. Women fall in love with those who can provide for their children. All the time. It's all throughout history. A woman loves to be, and you could be a gay woman. They still love to be dined and wine. They still love to go out to a dramatical or entertaining event. They love to go out, you know, to dinner, or to be given gifts, showered with gifts, or taken out on a date. Leo in the second house, man. Take them out to eat. You know, so get out of here with that. You know, get out of here with that. So, yes, it can be. Yes, it can be. It's called focus. Energy can be focused. And through the lens that is focused, we start there, and we begin to open the lotus from that lens, or the ascendant, or first sign, and we go to sign by sign, house by house, to unravel and to reveal the astrological and zodiacal nature of this thing, of this motif, of the idea. In the chart of, well, so now that I explain it to you, sex normally equates to, in astrology, Scorpio. Normally, some people disagree, but I'm just saying normally. In the conceptual chart of sex, Aquarius is the fourth sign. That position affords it a natural squaring energy to the ascending sign, or the theme, or the point of matter, okay, which is sex, or Scorpio. Natural square. In my mind, that kind of illustrates why, when choosing the lifestyle, homosexual lifestyle, why it's such a hard challenge in society. Yeah, why it's such a challenge, a harsh challenge, dealing with homosexuality in your family and your personal image and direction, and who you're trying to be and project yourself to be. That natural first to fourth house square illuminate between Scorpio and Aquarius, kind of illuminates that. Now, in the chart of Aquarius, which I think is homosexuality, amongst other things, don't get me wrong. So some people would, so everybody homosexual? No, Aquarius isn't just homosexuality. It's a whole bunch of things. You know what I'm saying? It's a genius, the truth. It is nationality, freedom, and we can go on and on. It's archetypes of the rebellion, the rebel, or the revolutionist, and blah blah blah. You know, revolutions are built on hope. Pisces is the second place of Aquarius. They told you in Star Wars. So, yeah. So, going back to that style, opening the lotus and looking at it from that perspective, in the place of homosexuality, the sign of sex is in the 10th place. It's reputation, and you cannot separate homosexuality from sex. It's a reputation. It's all about sex. You can't separate those two. And it's all about, and that's a square. First, the 10th house square. And so this shows the manifested, or illustrates to me, the issue that society, or traditional society, or conservative society, or the conservative traditional authorities have with homosexuality. You know, if they can't control it, Scorpio in the 10th, then, you know, they don't want you, they want to control it. They want to be the ones who disseminates, and who they even use it. Like, for instance, you know, in the chart of homosexuality, Aquarius, it has Capricorn in the 12th house. Or the undoing, or the secret enemy, or the sorrow, you know, for homosexuality and homosexuals is always the conservative, traditional elders or authorities who secretly, by the way, plot this trade, because the 12th place also represents the energy that deals with Hollywood, right? And notice how the director's couch, Capricorn, the director, the couch, which you sleep on 12th house, Capricorn, 12th house, is a nomenclature that is something that's thrown out there about Hollywood, the director's couch. That's Capricorn, the 12th. And they use that, Capricorn, use that 12th house of homosexuality to blackmail and to extort people. You know what I'm saying? And to bring them into the secret society. And homosexuals are always, you know, oppressed. And they always have to worry, you know, your 12th house, you worry about coming out of the closet, Capricorn. You dig? And they, you know, I don't know how many lesbians and gay boys, homosexuals that I know, they always got issues with their fathers or the disciplinary parent. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of them do. All right? So I'm just opening up the lotus and examining the anatomy of Aquarius as it corresponds to homosexuality. All right? You know, the more it's considered homosexuals have to hide their morality. They get shamed for their morality. Pisces in the second. Could that be also why they flourish in the entertainment industry, especially the fashion and makeup industry of Pisces the second? Anyway, so that was just epiphany for me right there. But on around that chart. Now I kind of opened the lotus on. I did it in the group Afro Astrology. You have to join the group if you want to see what I said about it, because I don't want to go through each sign right here on the recording. I just don't want to do that. And I do want to promote that group for Tahuti and Astro Queen, who started their own group, you know, because they wanted a voice and a platform in their way of viewing astrology, which they thought was being oppressed majorly by Europeans on the internet. So they started their own group. So big ups to them. I'm supporting them. You know what I'm saying? I'm all about black astrology. Don't care if you think it's divisive. Don't care if you think it's don't care if you think it's racist or discriminatory. You know, you got queer astrology, we got black astrology. You goddamn right. So that's how I feel about it. So you know, we're building on it in our way, from our perspective, from our communities, and so we're going to have a different spin on it. But you know, going back to the great question or the comment in the post that Amenti, the writer, posted in Afro Astrology, when she said Scorpio is gay, not is the homosexual, not Aquarius. And then that's how this all started. We went in, you know, everybody went in. So it was great questions, great build, everybody. You know, I want to do this more often. Let's see, you know, I want to do this more often and get some more videos to you, and maybe do some more live stuff for you guys, building on conceptual astrology, opening the lotus, the cosmopav, cosmophysics, that brand of astrology, you know, that is has been created and facilitated by young black men. So, you know, this is not Llewellyn George, this is not Alan Leo, this is not Madame Blavatsky, this is not Alice Bailey. This really comes from Ra Aku and Everest, because Ra Aku taught me cosmophysics. It was from that philosophy of astrology that I developed conceptual astrology, which I really called it conceptual cosmophysics. I just call it conceptual astrology because most people don't know what cosmophysics is. And cosmophysics is just a way of saying as above, so below, cosmophysics. You know, and that's how we view astrology. We bring what is above, below, here, manifest it here. You know. So you know, that's pretty much what the video is about. So I hope I answered Gary's question, and then I also got to some other points, you know, when I was showing you how look how the chart of Aquarius is. You know what I mean? And we can really look at what homosexuality is about. You know, one person, I think I want to address another person's question that had to me. I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's about it. But that addresses that question. So, you know, that's just like, and I use this technique, open the lotus, not just to look at motifs, but look to even identify archetypes and stories and stuff like that. We talked about power. My man Gemini Brown did an excellent evaluation of power from an astrological perspective, and from that oh my, interrupt my video, man.
I didn't know that noise.
So you know, I was telling people, like, oh, he's a Scorpio. Look at that dude. How if we look at the storyline and how it's being expressed in the storyline, this is a man whose partnerships are his undoing, his secret love affairs, his secret partner from back in the day, you know what I'm saying? His wife now is betraying him because the loss of their children, you know, that whole drug life is, you know, that drug life and his partners in the drug life are all falling apart or working against him and all that kind of stuff. You know, we see how he himself is very intense and a very directed, intense person, mentally and psychologically. You know, like a Scorpio. We see he makes his money. A lot of his finances are gotten through really big deals, dealing with foreigners. You know, the cartels. A lot of people. You know, so that's Sag in the second. You know, to me. You know, Capricorn in the third, he's real direct when he speaks, you know, commands authority when he talks, all that kind of stuff. You got Aquarius in the fourth, he grew up in the gang environment, gangland environment, you know, rolling with a crew of friends and his homeboys, all the people he grew up with. You know, it's all Aquarius in the fourth, and then you got Pisces in the fifth. Man, he's a talented drug dealer and a talented nightclub owner. You know, and he loves the game. He loves the drug game. He loves the night on the game. You know, the nightclub game as well. And you know, he's a talent for deception, mischief, and all that kind of stuff. You know, so you got. Yeah, Aries in the sixth place, and you know he lives a dangerous day-to-day existence, and a lot of people who work for him, and some people disagree with me, but you know, a lot of people who work for him are aggressive thugs and things of that nature, and assertive people, you know, with a lot of bravado and all kinds of stuff. And that's, you know, that's Aries in the sixth right there. Taurus in the seventh speaks to his beautiful wife and his beautiful partner. They both are very extremely beautiful. His wife was his accountant. Taurus in the seventh. His wife was also his accountant and dealt with the money and all that kind of stuff. We have after Taurus in the seventh, we have Gemini and Gemini in the eighth, and you know, he did have two sexual partners. And his word means death. He can give you, when he say go, he can get you killed with a word. Gemini in the eighth house, that dude there. You know what I'm saying? His benefits and the way he benefits from all the women in the actual show. His wife, his girlfriend Valdez, his wife's homegirl in her shop, his homeboy's mother. So a lot of the women in the show actually inadvertently support him, and he benefits a lot from that. He benefits a lot from his homeboys, you know what I'm saying, and people he grew up with. You know what I mean? This is why he wants to expand his community, what he was doing last in the show, you know, and buy property and rebuild his hood. That's right there. It's right there, right?